Day one. We're going to be Ubering today. It's 9 a.m. Have about a little over a half a tank of gas. Of course, the goal, as you know, on this channel is to travel the heck out of my life. So I know there's a lot of people that are like, Uber's the worst thing to do. Now, I'll tell you what I do works for me. You know, I do not drive a brand new car for Uber. I have a hybrid van, so I'm able to do XL runs, and I actually get better gas mileage in the Chrysler Pacifica that I drive than I used to get when I was doing Uber X only in my Subaru Crosstrek. So, you know, that's one thing. You know, I owe less on it than what I could sell it for right now if I needed to sell it. So, yeah, I think if you drive a brand new car for Uber, of course, I think that's kind of crazy. You know, there's a guy over here that drives a $50,000 Charger, which I think he's insane because he gets terrible gas mileage and he pays a shit ton for the ability to only do Uber X. Sorry, yeah, that seems pretty dumb for me. But again, people do it for their own reasons. You know, I could never go back to working a regular job. You know, I've been doing this for 3 years now, and just the thought of having to clock in, the thought of having to, you know, put in for vacation time, no thanks. You know, I send 20% of everything I make on Uber to a separate account for taxes, for, you know, issues if you know, I got to do some car repairs. You know, so I haven't had any trouble really with like, oh no, I got to get new tires. What am I going to do? You know, I plan for those by sending my money over every day. So, you know, do what works for you. You know, this might seem like a dumb idea, but the best thing I've ever done in my life. I'm happy. You know, that's the main thing, I think. Be happy in your life. So anyway, 9 a.m. guys, I will let you know how this goes and what we end up making. And hopefully we have a good day. It might be a little slow, but we'll see. Spring break's around the corner, so we'll see how this goes. First ride in the books, up to 1742 so far. A bit longer than I'd like for time spent, but I do live kind of in the middle of nowhere, so it does take me a little while to get my first airport run. Well, we're up to 45.74 in our first hour and 50 minutes. Not the greatest ratio yet, but you know, I think sitting at home for 30-45 minutes for the first ride kind of messed with that. So I'm sure that ratio will get better as the day progresses. All right, we're 2 hours and 37 minutes in and 67.35. Well, we made it to $131.46 in 4 hours and 37 minutes. So not a great day, but not bad either. So I'll take it.